Yo, what's up, everybody? Where the food at? Today I have a UU battle versus Anil, and I put this team together because I'm using a whole, but I wanted a fat team to use, especially Don Fan. I really wanted to use Don Fan, but I realized that I have only one Pokemon with OHKO potential, which is my Beedrill, and that's just terrible. And I realized how much of nothing I have for a freaking Hydreigon. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into this battle, and we're gonna see what we got. So I knew he was gonna lead off with his Galvantula. I really didn't want to exchange stick webs because he can just defog them away. So I wanted to lead off with my freaking Don Pan right here. Yeah, I said it, Don Pan, because even if he sets up the sticky webs, I could just freaking rapid spin them away. But he reveals that he actually has Energy Ball. I really didn't want him to have Energy Ball, but hell, I'm freaking Assault Vest, so I could take that, as I'm able to hit this Galvantula with an Earthquake. And this is what I'm saying: it has no OHKO potential. It couldn't even break this freaking Hydreigon down to his sash. So he goes out into his Hydreigon. I don't know why. He probably wanted to avoid another Earthquake, but I do go for Ice Shard, and that's going to get some super effective damage, but it does not do as much as I wanted to. So I figured that he was probably going to go for a Draco Meteor, so I went out into my Galvantula just to take that, but instead he goes for Dark Pulse, and my Galvantula is going to be knocked down to his sash. I thought he was going to take that because it's a resist, but he does reveal that he's Life Orbed, so I know that I can outspeed this thing, so I'm just going to go straight for my own Sticky Webs, as he's going to switch out and go out into his Infernape right here. And this Infernape is a threat. It's like, this thing is a threat. Yeah, it has priority, and I really can't go out into my Donphan now because, like, if I go into my Donphan, it's just going to be some more damage that I really don't want to take, and I need my Donphan for Rapid Spin. So I'm going to go out into my Arcanine, intimidate this thing so he won't be doing much to this my Arcanine. It's calm, but this Intimidate does make it a little more bulky, as he goes for the Mach Punch, and that does a crap ton of damage, even for a critical hit. So I figured out this thing was Choice Banded based off of that. A Choice Banded freaking Mach Punch did half to an Arcanine. Dear God, even if that is a critical hit. So I pretty much knew he was going to switch out, so I pretty much went for the Toxic. Did I go for Toxic? I think I went for Will-O-Wisp. No, I went for the Will-O-Wisp because no, wait. I forgot. I went for the Morning Sun because I wanted to recover off all that damage that was done by a critical hit. So at this point, I'm going to go for the Toxic. I really needed this Toxic on this freaking Dusclops because Dusclops walls my team a lot. So he's going to go for Taunt here, and now he's going to just stop my stall right here. So at this point, I'm taunted. I really don't want to stay in. Did I stay in? Yeah, no, I didn't stay in. I withdrew my Arcanine, and I figured it would be best to go out into my Galvantula just in case he wanted to go for the Pain Split. He would be just giving my Galvantula health, and I didn't really need my Galvantula because the Sticky Webs were already up. So my Galvantula does go down to Nightshade, as at this point, I think I went right back out into my Arcanine. Yeah, I went right back out into my Arcanine because I really didn't have anybody else that wanted to take on this Dusclops. So at this point, I'm just going to keep going for Flamethrower just to whittle this thing down and build up some toxic damage. So he's going to go for Taunt here, just probably to stop my recovery. So, but that's okay. The Toxic is wearing it down, and that's all I really want. Because like I said, Dusclops does wall my team a lot, and I need this thing out. So he's going to reveal the Pain Split at this point, and he's going to get a heap load of He's going to get a heap load of health back because I do run max HP, and Arcanine has a crap ton of HP. So I'm going to get my leftovers. I actually thought about putting a freaking Rocky Helmet on my Arcanine because Rocky Helmet Arcanine with Intimidate is really not bad. I like the set, but that's probably for a max defense variant. But he's going to go for Nightshade at this point, probably thinking that he didn't have much to get from a Pain Split, as the toxic damage is pretty much just going to put him in range of my next Flamethrower, if not knock him out. And he just barely, yeah, he just barely survives that toxic, as I'm able to go for a Flamethrower at this point and knock out this Dusclops, which was a huge threat to my team. So at this point, I think the taunt wears off this turn, so I will be able to go for the Morning Sun if next turn. So yeah, the taunt does wear off, as he actually goes out into his freaking Pangu, this freaking penguin looking mofo right here. As What penguin looking? This is a freaking penguin. Empoleon. As I'm going to get off of Morning Sun, because I know I can take a Scald better than... The Scald will not do more than half, as he actually goes for a Defog, which was also a prediction. I was just thinking that even if he went for a Scald, it won't be able to do that much damage, as I wanted to get a Will-O-Wisp off on this thing, but I do miss as he sets up his Stealth Rocks, which is going to suck, because my Rapid Spinner is my Donphan. So I actually went for the Toxic, thinking that he would switch out, not wanting to his freaking Empoleon to get burned, as that does not pay off for me. The Will-O-Wisp does miss, and I do take a Scald, and that's just going to be very unfortunate. So at this point, I figured that it would be best just to switch my Arcanine out. Don't want him taking another Scald. I really can't do anything with Morning Sun, because I did not PP max this thing, PowerPoint max it. So I actually decided to go out into my freaking Milotic here, and this is where I'm saying I don't have any OHKO potential. I can only whittle down an Empoleon. So I decided I'm going to go for Scald. I really hope to get a burn on this thing. He can keep going for Scalds. I really don't mind him burning my Empoleon. I don't run Marvel Scale. Is it Marvel Scale? Yeah, I think it's Marvel Scale. I don't have Marvel Scale. I have Competitive. So I probably should have switched out into my Empoleon on a Defog, but it really didn't matter. I really can't do much to this freaking penguin right here. So I don't really mind if he burns me. I don't have Marvel Scale, but I do have my Miltank, which has Heal Bell on it. And as soon as I was thinking that I was not going to get a burn, I actually get burned right here. I decided to Dragon Tail him out, pretty much just so I could spread some burns, if possible, as I do switch him out into his freaking Infernape right here. And I thought this Infernape would have Thunder Punch. What did I do this turn? I forgot what I did this turn. Yeah, he goes for the close combat. I stayed in with my Milotic, because Milotic was burned. I really couldn't do much with it. And so I just figured it would be best to sack it off and get a switch into here. I'm sorry, my nose is stuffed. So I figured that I can go out into my Beedrill and one-hit KO this thing, because it got the defense drop, and nothing really wants to take an attack from freaking Mega Beedrill. But I thought that this thing would outspeed at this point. It would outspeed, and I didn't want Beedrill to take an attack, so I just went for a Protect, because that is the best play to go for. I don't want to over-predict and just lose my Beedrill, because it kind of is a win condition for me. No, wait, I actually went for the Poison Jab. Yeah, I went for the Poison Jab, because even if he went for close combat, I don't remember. I don't remember. So he goes out into his Heracross. I realized that this Heracross, I have nothing for this Heracross either. So I actually made a dumb play, thinking that it was not Choice Scarf. Of course it's Choice Scarf the way he brought it in, and he's able to knock out my Beedrill. And that's going to suck, because now this Moxie Heracross can just pretty much sweep through my team. Even if I go out into my Donphan can't take a Moxie freaking Earthquake. And even then, I cannot one-hit KO this Heracross. So, because of the lack of one-hit KO Pokemon, I just can't one-hit KO his team. And I can only whittle him down. And he has a whole bunch of strong Pokemon that I can't do anything versus. So, he actually switches out into Empoleon. I don't know why. He could have swept through my whole team with that freaking Heracross. But he can just bring it in and sweep through my whole team, because I have nothing versus that Heracross. So I'm going to go for Ice Shard on this Hydreigon. I really can't switch out, as he goes for the Dark Pulse right here. And that's not going to knock out my Donphan. He barely lives. I saw this Donphan is really, really bulky. I should probably invest in some special defense. So I'm going to go for another Ice Shard, as that is going to knock out the Hydreigon. I don't know if the crit mattered. It probably did, because Ice Shard was not doing that much damage. As he's going to go out into his Infernape right here. And I know this thing is Choice Banded. I really can't do much to it, as he's just going to go for the Mach Punch. I went for the Ice Shard, but it doesn't matter. This thing out-prioritizes me so badly. So, I figured I had a chance here. I could go out into my Arcanine, hit this thing with a Toxic, and probably stall it out a little bit. But looking at that freaking... I remember that Mach Punch did so much damage. I'm hoping not to get another crit. As he goes for the Mach Punch, I have to Morning Sun. And I really wish I PP maxed my freaking Arcanine, because then I could probably stall it out just a tiny bit. As I have to go for the Toxic this turn. I wanted to go for the Toxic. So I go for the Toxic on this freaking Infernape right here. as he's going to go for the Mach Punch. It's not going to do too much to my Arcanine right here. Wait, I went for the Flamethrower? Why did I go for the Flamethrower? I don't remember why. I probably made a mistake, because Toxic would have been the best play. Oh yeah, I went for the freaking Flamethrower because I can't stall him out because I'm missing so many PPs, so I can freaking, I'm gonna say power points. You're dirty-minded people. Yeah, I couldn't stall him out because I didn't have enough Morning Sun, so yeah, so I just went for Flamethrower just to get some residual damage on this thing. So I decided, you know what, it's time I could just go out into my Miltank. I know I could take a Mach Punch, a neutral Mach Punch, even if he carries a Choice Band. So I go out into my Milky right here. He's going to eat up this Mach Punch very well. And the only way that I could win is if I go for the Body Slam, get the Paralysis at this point, Milk Drink, and just play around with Paralysis. So he goes for the Mach Punch right here. And it probably would have been in my best interest to go for a Milk Drink right here. I would have been able to get off more Body Slams, but I wasn't thinking. But I don't get the Paralysis, which is very unfortunate. As at this point, I should have gone for a Milk Drink, because if I did live, I would have been able to get off a whole bunch of HP. So I'm just not going for the Milk Drinks. I'm not playing stall, as at this point I do get the Paralysis. And if I do get a Paralysis, I'd be able to get off the Milk Drink that I went for this turn. And I would have been in a good situation. But as you see here, I did not get the Paralysis, and he goes for the Mach Punch. He's going to be able to knock out my Milky, and I really have nothing I could do at this point. Nothing at all. I should have probably gave up, because that would have saved time, because I can just go into my Arcanine, take a freaking Mach Punch, and his Heracross can just go for an Earthquake, as I can't one-hit KO his Heracross. Even if I do live Earthquake, as I am going to go for the last Morning Sun that I have. And I'm going to get up to a decent amount of HP. I can go for Flamethrower. I'm hoping to get like a Paralysis, because if I do, I'll be at full HP. And I do run. This thing is defensive as hell. Even its defense looks like it's special defense, and I'm special defensive invested. So I'm going to go for a Flamethrower. This thing is at -2. Its Mach Punch is not going to do anything. So this Heracross is going to come in, like I said. It's going to go for an Earthquake. Even if I do live it, if I go for a Flamethrower, he will live the Flamethrower, unfortunate. Even if he gets the burn, he is Guts, and that's not going to be good for me. So he's going to go for the Earthquake. He outspeeds me, of course, because he's Choice Scarf. And my Arcanine is just going to live that. And that's nice, because this thing is special defensive. I have no defensive investment in this thing, and it lived an Earthquake from a Heracross. So my Arcanine is right here. I'm just hoping for like an Earthquake miss, which is not going to happen. But he does go for the Earthquake, and he knocks out my Arcanine, and that's a good game. His channel link will be in the description. He's fairly new, and this was a good battle. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you like the battle, hit the like button. Thanks for watching, as always. My voice was terrible in this video. I'm just like so congested. And thanks for watching.